Hello everyone, today I'm going to review and talk to you about some of the top speeding cubes on the market that are available today. To introduce myself very briefly, I am a cube distributor for South Korea, and most of our cubes are distributed offline to retail stores. This is where we are right now. This is our conference room, and this is late at night. And everyone has left, so I'd like to take some time and introduce to you some of these top cubes as far as their design, functionality, and maybe where the cube market is heading or could be heading. On our left, if you notice the mark, the logo, this is the Ultimate Lubix Zhanchi. Now, Lubix is a very famous company. They take the Diane Zhanchi and they put their 48-point edge mod along with their very good Lubix silicone lubricant, and the cube has been very well praised. This has been used in many competitions and tournaments worldwide. I think everybody is familiar with the Diane Zhanchi. Also, I'd just like to say that all these cubes are shown in white because of the camera, and if I show them in black, I'm afraid that the camera cannot pick up the perception of where the design is, and so I decided to show you these cubes in white today so you can get a clear glimpse of what the cube has and how the design has been constructed. Our next cube is considered the next generation speed cube. It was released just a few months ago, and it has been praised very well on YouTube. It is the Fangshi Shuarang Ren. The design is very different from the Diane Zhanchi. It has some similarities, but it is maybe very little different, and I will get into all of the differences and similarities in just a few minutes. The next one, we have a new speed cube called the MoYu HuanYing, and this cube was released maybe just 1 or 2 months ago. It has some excellent advantages, and it also has some disadvantages as well. But I believe, to be fair, there is no perfect speed cube on the market just yet, as of today. With any product, smartphones, cars, you have brand names and you have other names, but there is no perfect product. Every cube has advantages and disadvantages, and it is up to you for you to decide what is your choice and what cube best fits you. So this review is going to be very neutral. I will give you a very neutral outlook on what each cube has with their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, our last cube that we're going to review today is actually a prototype, and Mr. Calvin Fan was very kind to send me one of these cubes, and I received this a little late, but I'd like to go ahead and review this today. The production model is available. They have finalized the model, and it is available for purchase at the HK Now store. All these cubes can be purchased at the HK Now store. Lubixcube can be purchased at their website. I will have all the links down below, and you can find them very easily if you would like to purchase them. If you already have them, then maybe this review will be hopefully a little bit more informative for you, but I'm sure you probably already know most of what I will be talking about. So, what makes a good speed cube? I believe there's 4 categories that can be split down. The first category of course, would be some kind of anti-popping system. Now, to go and talk about it, the Diane Zhanchi decided that let me grab this really quick and show you. Their way to hold the pieces together would be to create a torpedo that would anchor the pieces and create the pieces from ejecting out of the cube during high times of friction and speed. Now, okay, so we got the focus. Now you can see that in between, and I'm sure you already know that they have created a lot of space, which also decreases friction. But some down effects, some side effects of this design is that although it is extremely great and it currently holds the world's records right now, some of the points, some of the corners, some of the edges are very sharp. Now, not sharp to say like a knife, but it is sharp enough to create resistance when moving the pieces around during solving. Oh. Let's put that back together. The Fangshi Shuarang Ren decided to not go with the torpedoes, but to anchor the pieces by creating a groove between the edge piece and the corner pieces. And this piece moves back and forth, and this is kind of like a torpedo under a torpedo, and they did not use the torpedo, but they did increase where the corner pieces fit inside the cube, which they enlarged, so that also helps the cube from not popping. Also, to grab a cube really quick, they have tracks, and these tracks help the pieces slide in and out and around the cube in a cylindrical motion. I believe that has some benefits to help the cube move around quickly, and also to keep it in place, thus further helping the cube from popping. The HuanYing, the MoYu HuanYing, the cube has anchors, and their anti-popping system is with the anchors. Now there's a lot of space, and if you notice, the corner pieces have a lot of plastic that is missing. There's a lot of holes, and this design was chosen because they wanted to increase the degree of reverse corner cutting. And I can't get this to focus. Excuse me. Okay. So they use this design to increase the degree of reverse corner cutting, which is kind of hard to do with some of the other speed cubes. Why is that important? Well, maybe if I can show you. Well, when you take a cube, let's use this other side. Okay, when you take a cube and you're trying to reverse corner cut, there is a lot of plastic right there that keeps the cube from falling down. And because of this, I believe the designer for the HuanYing chose to cut away that plastic and create a better reverse corner cutting design. But there are some disadvantages with this, And the major disadvantage is that the HuanYing, because there is less plastic, there is less sturdiness within the pieces, and as the pieces rotate quickly, then some of the the corner pieces can rotate without notice. So this was a design choice. Should we increase the design? Should we increase the reverse corner cutting and take a hit with some of the pieces rotating by themselves? It doesn't happen often, but it can happen depending on the way you speed cube and your style. Here we have the Weilong, and grab the pieces here. Okay, the Weilong actually has maybe what you can say the best of both worlds. It has the anchor pieces, and it has the anti-popping system found with the Fangshi Shuarang Ren. And the cube is very smooth, and I will get into in depth with some of the advantages with this cube. So the designer for this cube decided, why not take best of both worlds? Why not use anchors and use what the Fangshi has, and maybe create something better, something smoother? And I think that there is some truth into that. Okay, so like I said before, there are 4 categories that the speed cube can be broken down into. The first is some kind of anti-popping system. But to be honest, it doesn't matter what kind of anti-popping system any cube has. It depends on your tension. If you have a loose cube, the pieces will eject. And if you have the tension down really tight, then you will reduce performance, but you will have a very safe cube, and the pieces will fall out. The third can be categorized as to say some kind of agility. Agility, of course, would be like corner cutting, 45-degree or more, and reverse corner cutting. And between the two, I believe that reverse corner cutting is more practical than regular corner cutting. Reverse corner cutting has more uses and more advantages, but there are some flaws with creating a cube as of today that has a good reverse corner cutting degree. Now the last category, I believe, could be categorized as the perfect weight ratio. Each cube has different weights. The Zhanchi is about 120 grams. The Fangshi and the MoYu, they are different. The MoYu is a little bit lighter. The Fangshi is light, but the HuanYing is the lightest out of the 4. The Weilong is about as heavy as a Zhanchi, but I believe it might be a little bit heavier. Now, why is weight important, and why is having a perfect weight ratio important for performance? Well, to put it simply, if you have a cube that is made out of rocks or bricks, it will not turn, no matter how smooth the bricks or rocks could be. So finding the perfect weight ratio for a speed cube is very important. Now, if on the other end of the spectrum, if you have a cube that is too light, it doesn't feel like any kind of substance, and it's maybe a little hard to maneuver, because our hands are used to grip and used to moving some kind of objects, and most speed cubers are accustomed to some sort of weight ratio. Okay, now I'm going to stop, and I will come back and maybe show you a little bit more with all the advantages and disadvantages, and I have talked about a few, but a little bit more in depth. Thank you.